Hey everyone, welcome back to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chris. Today we're going to be talking V8s, and in particular, Edna's V8. She's got a original Flathead V8 in it, 8BA variety. I kind of wanted to talk about the history of it, at least the history that I know. The story that I got with Edna when I bought her several years ago was that her owner, who had her for about 40 years, drove her as a daily driver for about 20 years, then bought a new car in 1997, roughly, and then just parked Edna. And Edna sat for 20 years on the side of the road. Well, off the road, but you know. And surprisingly, you can still look it up on Google, although I'm not going to give out the address for obvious reasons. But this is basically what she looked like in 2017, as far as I know. Definitely a little different looking than today. She was looking a little bit different than that when I first got her, but she's come a long way in the time that I've owned her. So let's talk about her engine. And well, let's just dive right into it. Something I always thought was cool was how they integrated the hood latch into the decorations. So you just and pull up. Alright, so what do we know about this engine? As far as I know, it's stockish. I guess Edna wasn't technically a barn find since she was on the side of the road, so more of a street find. Now, clearly, Edna being 73 years old now, this engine's been rebuilt at some point. If it's been more than one time, I don't know. But it's definitely been rebuilt before. And some of the telltale signs, aside from just the age, is you can see that Edna was painted, or this engine was painted blue at some point. And you can tell right here, it says 8BA, right here on the engine, 8BA. Fomico logo there. When I bought Edna, she ran. So, did someone basically do a revival? Well, I would assume. If she was stuck or not, I don't know. I don't know what all they did to get her running again. But whatever they did worked. And Edna has been a great running truck the whole time I've had her. When I bought her, she had new hoses, as well as new water pumps. If you know about the Flathead V8s, you know they run 2 water pumps, one on each side, which also doubles as the engine mount, which is a little weird, but cool in a way. Now, one of the things that I know about Edna is that this head cracked about 2 years ago now. No, it's been about a year and a half, so not too entirely long ago. When I first put heat on Edna, right here where the heater valve goes in, this screws in right here, and I had to replace it because it was just old and terrible looking. But the way it was drilled and tapped, the threading was really close to this edge here, and when I tightened it up, it split right there and started leaking immediately. I put some JB weld on it, but only ran it for about a week, I think. But I was just too afraid that that was just not going to hold up in the long run, especially with as much driving I do. After some looking around on eBay, we found this head. And this, you can see, is another 8BA head. When I bought it, it was sandblasted, magnafluxed, and it had some kind of coating on it that was really hard to get off to keep it from rusting. But I got that off, cleaned it up real good, and put a nice coat of red paint on it. While the head was off, I found out that this engine is bored 60 over. Probably a little bit more horsepower, like maybe 1 or 2 over stock. I'm pretty sure she has a stock cam in here. The other thing too is that the something I wish that she had that she doesn't have is the hardened valve seats. She does not have hardened valve seats in here, which, like I said, I found while the engine was out. It's just the valve seats cut right into the block. So far I haven't had any issues though, and I've put a pretty decent amount of engine on her or miles on her over the years. And she's continued to run good. Edna runs a good solid 30 psi of oil pressure when she's running, so I feel good about that. One issue that I need to fix: when I first bought Edna, she did not have an oil filter at all. So I got this one, I cleaned it up, put it on there, and realized that down below where the oil pressure sensor goes, it's in the wrong hole. So I can't put the hose in it. It's supposed to be in the side plug where you see this little plug in there. So I've actually got to get that out and move it, but it does not want to come out, and clearly I don't want to break it. But once I move it to there, I can hook the lines up and have the oil filter working properly. Now, a lot of you guys know that Edna's been converted to 12 volts, so I don't really need to go into that. Plans for the future. I've always been fascinated by the Flathead V8. I always just thought it was a really cool engine and nostalgic among hot rodders. I want to keep this engine in here. But if I continue to drive her the way that I drive her, which is almost as a daily vehicle, eventually it's going to wear out. And from what I understand, it's pretty expensive to rebuild one of these. In the future, I'd like to do some things like aluminum heads, maybe change the intake, change out the cam, put a bigger cam in it, get a little bit more power out of it. But for the time being, she runs good, so I'll continue to drive it as she is. In the future, I want to learn more about the engine itself. I would love to have some more history on Edna's life. So if you've ever owned her in the past, I'd love to hear about it. You can contact me in the comments below. If you want to see what's been going on with any of the other videos, or what's been going on with Edna since I've owned her, you can check out any video on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chance and I have made a lot of memories going out and doing stuff every weekend to and with Edna. That's all I've got for Edna's engine history. If you know any more about her, don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.